Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rajwant from DAV College Jalandhar. Today we are going to talk on module Management of Salesforce from paper Marketing Management. And after completing this module, you will be able to understand the concept of Salesforce management. You will be able to explain the functions of Salesforce management, and you will be in a position to describe the selection process of salesmen. So the essence of marketing, it is creating, maintaining and developing demand. Thus the role of effective selling and the sales force cannot be undermined. The organizations grow due to the hard work of the sales force, which deals with the customers, and they try to secure more and more demand for the organization's products or services. Therefore, there is a need to manage the sales force effectively for the long-term survival of organizations. So, as far as meaning of the sales force management is concerned, so we all know that in an organization firm, the persons engaged in personal selling operations, they are called as salesmen, also known as salespeople or sales force. Personal selling requires face-to-face interaction between customer and salesman and involves use of various methods of selling such as door-to-door selling, selling across the table, selling at counter, etc. And in some organization, especially dealing in industrial goods, majority of their sales force is engaged in field or door-to-door selling. Salesforce management, it relates to planning, organizing, directing, and controlling of personal selling activities of an organization, which also includes recruiting, selecting, training, assigning, routing, scheduling, compensating, supervising, and motivating, as these tasks are applied to Salesforce. Now I am going to discuss about functions of Salesforce management or the process of Salesforce management. For effectively managing the Salesforce of the organizations, various functions which are performed are setting the selling objectives, determining the size of sales force, then analyzing the job, that is job analysis, recruitment, selection, training, then assignment of jobs. It is also done under for managing the sales force effectively. Then determining the compensation for the sales force, motivation of sales force, that is also needed. So marketing managers, they will have to perform this function, coordination and control. Let me discuss the functions for managing the sales force effectively. The various functions one by one. Number one, that is setting the selling objectives for the sales force. So first of all, various selling objectives, these are set for the individual salesman within the framework of the sales objectives which are set for the sales or marketing department as a whole. Apart from setting direct selling objectives like sales volume, expense and profitability for each salesman, other objectives are also set in relation to their selling and non-selling functions such as number of calls to be made per day or per week, then the order size to be taken, average cost per call, number of orders to be generated per day or per week, number of middlemen, salesperson to be trained per day, etc. So these are certain other functions, other objectives rather. So these objectives will act as standards for evaluating the performance of salesmen and pinpointing the weaknesses in their performance. Another function which is performed for managing the sales force, that is determining the adequate size of sales force. So obviously it is needed to determine the number of salesmen required to accomplish the sales objectives, as the management of sales force involves cost. So therefore such size of sales force is determined which will help in increasing sales volume and profit on one hand and reducing associated costs on the other hand. In determining the optimum size of sales force, past experience, managerial judgment, and the practice followed in industry play an important role. However, some models are also available which can help marketing executives in deciding the right size. There is one model to determine the right size, that is workload model, among the other models available. So this model was propounded by W.J. Talley, who believed that all salesmen should have equal workload. As per this model, management should first determine the total workload involved in covering the firm's entire market. Then it should divide this estimated total workload by the workload that an individual salesman is required to handle. So this will determine the number of salesmen needed. So there is another model to determine the size of sales force, which was given by W.J. Samlow. As per this model, a firm can go on increasing the number of salesmen till additional gross margin on sales volume that each additional salesman is expected to produce. It is greater than the total cost of maintaining an additional salesman. So according to Samlow, this method is easy to apply as the necessary information is available from accounting records. But sometimes it is difficult to determine the incremental sales that additional salesperson could be expected to generate, especially in the case when increase in number of salespeople does not create a proportional increase in sales. And then comes job analysis. The management has to carry out job analysis to develop job description and job specification. Job description, it provides details about the job, that is its nature, content, and duties of job holder. The job description for selling job specifies job duties, extent of responsibility, job conditions, a relationship with the superiors, supervisors, and peers, and type of customers and sales contact involved. A job specification, it explains the kind of person required for the job in terms of educational qualification, physical strength, and personal attributes. Apart from educational qualification, firms usually looks for self-confidence, empathy, that is ability to understand another person's problems and wants, and ego drive, that is desire to excel and convince the prospect. A job description and job specification both help in effective recruitment and selection. So then comes recruitment. Recruitment means searching for prospective employees, that is salesmen, and stimulating them to apply for job. Effective recruitment increases the number of applicants, which enables management to make a better selection of salesmen. Recruitment and selection are usually the responsibilities of personnel department, but many a times the marketing executives, they are also called upon either to take a lead in this regard or assist the personnel department in this task. Recruitment can be done from internal sources or from external sources. Present employees, they may recommend the name of certain persons known to them. Then transfers can be initiated from one branch to another to adjust the requirement of salesmen. Firms may contact employment exchanges, recruitment agencies, educational or training institutes. Then reputed firms or organizations, they usually have unsolicited applicants, that is the candidates who aspire to work in these firms. So the management keeps the record of all such applicants. They can be called upon if need arises. That is a selection function which is performed to manage the sales force. So I'm going to discuss about it. Selection means appointing a suitable person as per the requirements of the job. Selection is considered as a negative process. Why? because it involves the appointment of promising candidate and refusing the unpromising one. So obviously we will have to select the suitable person and refuse the persons who are not deserving or who are not suitable for our post. So that is why it is called as negative process. The selection of right salesman is very important, as the improper selection will lead to say poor sales volume, less profit generation, high salesman turnover, inadequate compensation, and also dissatisfaction among salesmen. So the sales procedure which is usually followed by the firms, it involves number of steps like receiving and scrutiny of applications, getting application blanks filled. Another step is administering tests, then interviewing, medical examination. The last step is final selection. Now I am going to take up these steps one by one. That is, first of all, receiving and scrutiny of applications. The applications of various candidates, these are first of all received and then scrutinized to segregate applications which do not fulfill the basic requirements like education or height, etc. So they will not be eligible for the post if these minimum requirements are not possible. So at the initial stage, these applications are segregated, and further steps these are followed only when the candidate fulfills the minimum requirements. So second, those who have passed the first step, they will be given application blanks. So what are application blanks? These are basically the printed application forms which are to be filled by the candidates who are eligible and they have submitted simple applications. Means not as per the format provided by the organization. Organization may need some standardized information which is not possible to have with the applications submitted by the or sent by the candidates. So these forms help in getting some standardized information about the candidate like personal history, educational qualification, salary expected, experience, or reasons for leaving previous jobs, references, etc. Then certain tests are administered, means testing is important. So these tests are applied to develop an in-depth understanding about personality traits and attributes of the candidates. Various psychological tests which are used for the selection of salespeople, these include like achievement tests, intelligence tests, personality tests, interest tests, etc. Achievement tests basically measure skill or training which the candidate possesses at the time of testing, whereas intelligence tests measure the intelligence quotient of the applicant. The capability of the person in dealing with the new problems can be understood through these tests. Personality tests, these are also carried out. These are designed to know the candidate's overall performance or appearance, overall appearance, temperament, his nature, behavior, initiative, confidence, belief in teamwork, etc. Then interest tests are also applied, and these attempt to find out the likings and dislikings of the candidate so that he may be provided job as per his liking if he is selected. Then another step is interviewing. Organizations may use these steps like this. Interviewing can be done first and then test can be conducted. So it may vary from organization to organization, but interviewing is compulsory function in whatever stage it may be conducted. So interviewing basically involves personal interaction between the selection committee or interviewer and the candidate, that is interviewee, in formal or informal setting. Interview can be structured, it can be semi-structured, unstructured, or stress interview. Interview helps in cross-checking the information supplied in the application forms, blank application forms, which were filled up by the candidates, and gathering other necessary information about the candidate not supplied in the application forms. So, interview is very important in selection process. It is aimed at discovering the salesman in the interviewee, which is otherwise not possible without this interview step. Moreover, the candidate also gets a chance to know more about the firm, about the job. So it is a way of giving the information as well as getting the information about the candidate. So both interviewer and interviewee, they are benefited. Then if the person who has passed this interview, then there is need for a medical examination also. So this is also one step which is necessary for selecting a candidate. So after passing through interview, the candidate may require to go for medical examination and submit physical fitness certificate for ensuring his physical ability to carry out a hard and stressful selling job. Obviously, if his health will permit, only then he can carry out his job effectively. So for this purpose, medical examination is required. And last, when the candidate has passed all these stages, then it means he is suitable for a job. So if the interviewer or the selection committee, they are satisfied, then the candidate is issued appointment letter which explain his position, remuneration and other terms and conditions of the job. However, the contractual relation is established with the selected candidate when he submits joining letters. I am going to discuss about training. Training, as we all know, it is a term, rather it is a systematic process of enhancing skill and knowledge of people for a specific purpose. So training is always for a specific purpose, that is to learn specialized skills. Good salespeople, they are not born, rather they are made by training through well-organized training programs. Training can be imparted to group of salesmen through various methods such as lecture, discussion, role-playing, or sensitivity training. So these are the methods which are helpful in training the salesman in a group. Training can be imparted to salesmen at an individual level through on-the-job training method or like programmed instruction method. Through various training methods, salesmen, they are provided knowledge, skill and attitude training. So what is sales knowledge training? Sales knowledge training is basically it is knowledge about the product, company, market and selling techniques. So this training is imparted through lectures, conferences, discussions, programmed instructions and plant visits. Under sales skill training, the salesmen are trained about how to approach the customer, identify sales prospects, make sales presentation, overcome the objections, then close sale and follow-up procedure to be followed by the salesman. So role-playing, sensitivity training, programmed instructions and on-the-job training methods, these are used to impart skill training, that is to enhancing the particular selling skills of the candidate. So this training helps in effectively using sales knowledge. Then sales attitude training is also imparted and it develops a positive attitude of the salesman towards his firm, product, colleagues and superiors. So for this, conferences, self-development courses and discussions, these are used to impart sales attitude training. There is another important function under managing the sales force, that is assigning the jobs to them. So trained salesmen, they are assigned jobs of selling products in certain market segments. These market segments are termed as sales territories. So what is a sales territory? It denotes a group of customers called accounts in a geographical area. The salesmen are allocated sales territories so as to enable management to effectively evaluate each salesman's performance. It improves customer service, market coverage, sales profitability, and helps in reducing selling expenses. So that is why sales territories, these are allocated to the salesman. These territories are allocated on the basis of ability of salesman, sales efforts required, and the sales potential of these territories. The management should try to assign that territory to each salesman wherein his relative contribution to profit is the highest. Obviously, if some salesmen, they are very efficient, so they should be given the territories which are larger. Apart from allocating sales territories, sales quota is also assigned to each salesman. Sales quotas, these are the quantitative objectives in terms of rupees or units of products to be achieved by salespeople. Quotas motivate salesmen to achieve certain performance level and act as standards against which their performance is measured. So sales quotas also helps in controlling the performance of salesmen. Sales quotas fits for salesmen should be fair, accurate, and realistic. Salesmen should be able to understand these quotas and methods to achieve them. The participation of salespeople in quota setting will definitely ensure the achievement of these sales quotas, because there will be lot of clarity, and moreover the salespeople, they will be more committed also towards the achievement of these sales quotas. So it will improve the effectiveness of sales quotas. Sometimes the salesmen, they are given liberty to change discounts or allowances to be granted to buyers to secure more sales, but they are usually not authorized to alter the price given in the catalog. While assigning the jobs, certain plans regarding routing and scheduling, these are also made for the salesman to improve the coverage of territories and reduce wastage of time and efforts. The route plan provides information about location and number of customers, route maps, means of transport available, etc. Whereas schedule plan, it tells about customers to be contacted or called upon daily, the time at which each call is to be made, and certain other necessary details about daily sales calls. Determining compensation is again an important function of management to effectively manage the sales force. Management has to formulate compensation plan for salesmen. A salesman's compensation plan may have various components such as salary, commission, bonus, reimbursable expenses, and fringe benefits like medical benefits, use of car, life insurance, paid vacations, etc. The compensation plan should ensure stable and good earnings as well as adequate incentives for increase in sales volume or profitability. It should be simple, fair, economical, flexible, and competitive. A good compensation plan, it helps in reducing sales force turnover, then boosts the morale of salesmen, and it also improves the firm's image. The various methods of compensation which are followed by different organizations, these may be one salary method, it may be commission based method, or there can be salary plus commission method. Some organization may follow salary plus bonus method. So in addition to these methods of compensation, the salesmen are compensated for their out-of-pocket expenses. They are sometimes given some share of profit for showing extraordinary performance. Motivation of sales force is very important. Motivation means stimulus to get a desired action. Salesmen, they are usually motivated for achieving selling objectives through various financial, and non-financial incentives. Of course, adequate compensation, it acts as a financial incentive and provides a stimulus to the salespeople to work harder. But money cannot fulfill all the needs of salesmen. So they are provided non-financial incentives also, such as recognition, praise, good working conditions, participation in goal setting, promotion, autonomy, opportunity for advancement, etc. Sales contexts are also employed, which offer financial and non-financial incentives to salesmen on achieving certain goals. Coordination is necessary for managing the sales force. Obviously, if their activities are well coordinated, then it will bring better output, and salespeople, they can be rewarded properly. Coordination is basically, it is synchronization of various activities, that is creating harmony, uniformity of action. So management or marketing executives, they have to coordinate the efforts of different salesmen. They have to integrate the operations of sales force with those of physical distribution activities, advertising and sales promotion activities to achieve sales or marketing objectives. Effective communication helps in achieving coordination. Coordination reduces conflicts between salesmen and dealers. Salesmen intercede, that is among themselves, and salesmen and sales team at headquarters. So coordination is very important. Controlling is a very important function, and obviously it is very important function of management at every level. So controlling the performance of sales force or the salesman, that is again essential. Control means evaluating the performance and applying corrective measures if necessary. The management controls the activities of sales force. It evaluates the performance of salespeople periodically and continuously to determine the achievement of targeted performance levels, compliance of policies, rewards, that is to determine rewards. It carries out control function, penalties, and also to assess the need for training. Controlling is carried out. Appraisal of performance helps in identifying the areas where corrective action is required, and it enables management to apply adequate corrective measures so as to improve future performance. Nothing can be done whatever has happened in past, so controlling helps in improving the future performance. The process of sales force control, it includes first of all establishment of standards of performance, that is important. Then the actual performance is measured. Actual performance measured, this is compared with the standards, and if the performance is not up to the mark, that is some deviation is found, then corrective action is taken. So control involves these steps, okay, that is establishment of standards, measurement, comparison, and taking corrective actions. So qualitative and quantitative standards for salesman performance, these are set in the form of sales quotas, expense control, routing and scheduling plans. These also act as standards. Then personal development objectives, selling objectives like gross profit, sales profitability, etc. So these are the standards which are in quantitative terms. Organizations records in accounts and sales department, and salesmen reports, supervision, customer feedback reports. These are important sources of information which help in knowing about salesmen's performance levels. A performance of salesmen against qualitative standards, it is measured and evaluated through opinion reports of sales executives, customer opinion, and merit rating, that is a use of multi-point scale to rate various qualitative factors or traits. Quantitative performance of sales force, it is evaluated through scale, through sales records and reports, ratio analysis, profit and loss statement analysis, and comparison of salesmen's performance with sales quotas. So these quantitative performance of the sales force, that is evaluated through these things. So the control of sales force, it is very helpful in improving the selling methods, determining the salesperson's worth, improving the sales performance and quality of supervision. It is also helpful in knowing the effectiveness of compensation plans, to know the effectiveness of motivation system, and also to know the problems of sales force. And since control function is very important, it provides very benefits also. So a sound control system of an organization must ensure a fair evaluation, quick reporting of performance and deviations, a timely corrective action, and human touch in dealing with salesperson who are showing poor performance. So students, let us now summarize what we have learned in this module. In an organization or firm, persons engaged in personal selling operations, they are called as salesmen, salespeople, or sales force. Sales force management relates to planning, organizing, directing, and controlling of personal selling activities of an organization, which also includes recruiting, selecting, training, assigning, routing, scheduling, compensating, supervising, and motivating as these tasks are applied to Salesforce. Organizations' sales and profits, these are dependent on the efficiency of salesmen. So, their efficient management is the major task of sales or marketing management. Effective Salesforce management includes various functions such as setting, selling objectives, determining size of sales force, job analysis, recruitment, selection, training, assignment of jobs, determining compensation, motivation of sales force, coordination and control. First of all, various selling objectives, these are set for individual salesmen within the framework of sales objectives, which are set for sales or marketing department as a whole. The management has to carry out job analysis to develop job description and job specification. Job description, it provides details about the selling job, that is its nature, content and duties of job holder, that is salesman. A job specification explains the kind of person required for selling jobs in terms of educational qualification, physical strengths and personal attributes. Recruitment means searching for prospective employees, that is salesmen, and stimulating them to apply for job. Recruitment can be done from internal sources or external sources. A selection means appointing a suitable salesperson as per the requirements of job. It involves tests and interview. Training is a systematic process of enhancing skill and knowledge of people for a specific purpose. Good salespeople, they are not born, rather they are made by training through well-organized training programs. The trained salesmen, they are assigned jobs of selling products in certain market segments. These market segments are termed as sales territories. Apart from allocating sales territories, sales quota is assigned to each salesman. Management has to formulate a compensation plan for a salesman, which has various components such as salary, commission, bonus, reimbursable expenses, and fringe benefits. Salesmen, they are motivated for achieving selling objectives through financial and non-financial incentives. Coordination is the synchronization of various activities. Management or marketing executives, they have to coordinate the efforts of different salesmen. Control means evaluating the performance and applying corrective measures if necessary. The management controls the activities of sales force. The effective control of sales force helps in improving selling methods, determining the salesperson's worth, improving sales performance, knowing the effectiveness of compensation plans, and knowing the problems of sales force. Thank you.